You are now listening to the Highly Evolved Podcast with your host, Safan. Transmission will commence momentarily.
How you guys doing? This is the Highly Evolved Podcast. My name is Safan. This channel is for a real American patriot. If you're not a real American patriot, please exit the channel. And you can find me on Twitter and Gab.ai. Let's start the show. On this episode, I want to discuss what California is doing to its American citizens. All right. If you guys don't know, California is modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. All right. It's modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. Let's say what it is. All right. They're doing all these immoral activity. All right. From this, if you haven't heard, they try to initiate a sex education framework for California. All right. Let me read this article to you guys so you guys get a clear sense what I'm talking about. All right. A controversial sex education framework from California approved despite protests. All right. So this Board of California are going against the people's will. All right, I'll read you this article. I'll leave the link on the article. I'll leave the article and the link below in the description if you guys are interested. All right, let me get settled before I can read this article. Sorry, hiccups. All right. Controversial sex education framework for California approved despite protests. California education official have agreed on a swap new framework for sex education in the classroom, sparking intense debate about whether some of the proposed teacher material are too graphic for and explicit. Meaning, so I seen some of these brochure that they're passing out. It's basically an adult telling a kids how to put in a condom on an adult. All right, this brochure that I seen is a male adult laying down on the bed telling a boy, to put a condom on his wee-wee. All right? That's how graphic it is. I don't want to show it to you guys because it's very graphic. All right? But let's continue with the article. The guidance is meant for students in kindergarten to 12th grade and though not a mandate, it intended to provide teachers with information to use on sex education curriculum. Right? When we talk about sex education for kids, I think that's between a parent and a child. The school board should not interfere with this at all. It should left up to the parents. All right. My dog just barked. If you guys hear her, but disregard what she's barking about. But let's continue. Right. The update. Wait. Is not mandated. Is intended to provide teachers with information to use in sex education curriculum. The update health education curriculum framework include that suggested uses for gender neutral, and they're perpetuating this narrative of gender neutral. What the heck is that? There's only two genders, male and female. All right, and LGBTQXY elemental P inclusive. All right, language, material, and consent and sex trafficking. And continued teaching of HIV prevention, which was enacted into law under California Healthy Youth Act in 2016, which is a BS laws. All right, it's all gender driven. All right, all these acts that they try to pass. The frameworks also include guidance in nutrition and physical activity, tobacco, and alcohol and skincare. There's a lot of school and emotional learning embedded throughout, says Stephanie Garrison, director of the curriculum. Right, this woman is so immoral. Right, framework and instructional resources division and California Department of Education. But it's a portion of sex education that has stirred some controversy. The guidance have promote protests among parent conservative group and teachers, most notably around some of the books that were suggested resources included SEX. Some of the resources include SEX as a brochure. And all you need to know sexual guide to get you through your teen and 20s. What the hell? Why would they publish this? And this under the taxpayer money. All right. So let's continue. Which include description of anal sex. So they're teaching only anal sex and bondage. What the? Why is this? Oh my God. And changing you, which include cartoon illustration of female and male genitalias. Both books were recommendation for removal. It is important to note the board is not trying to ban books. We're not trying to say that the books are bad. State Board Education member Feliza I. Ortiz Licon said, but the removal will help avoid misunderstanding that California is mandating the use of these books. Though the framework of the differentiality lessons of the transitional kindergarten through the third grade, fourth through sixth grade, seventh and eighth grade, 9th to 12th grade, concern over children's ability to handle some materials, right? Some of these kids are too young, right? Some of these kids are immature. So how would you think to take all this material in? They probably laugh, giggles, not take it seriously, make fun of, or you don't know how they're going to react to this. That's why I believe that should be left to the parent to talk to the kids about sexual activities, right? And you're a parent, you don't talk to your kids about these kind of stuff, you're doing your kids a disservice. You're not giving them a real world advice of how things work, right? But let's continue. At the youngest age have persisted. All right, it's at the youngest age. All right. A Change.org petition in Fremont School District have gained more than 8,000 signatures with concern over children's ability to handle such material at a young age. Right, these material are very graphic. I've seen it with myself. It's very graphic. The contents of the new sexual education curriculum is not age appropriate. Petitioners Alice Liu wrote, but the California State School Board of Education believe that the provision of this type of information will benefit students in the long run. No, it won't. It should be up for the parent and the kids. All right, let's continue. Life has become exponentially more complex in the last few decades. Linda Darling Harmon, president of the School Board Education and Learning Policy Institute, said in a statement, the health curriculum framework developed by the educator give district administrator and educator the guidance and resources they needed to develop curriculum and instruction that can help students adopt healthy behaviors that support their physical and mental well-being and navigate through the sometimes complicated situation that will come to their ways. And once again, that should be left up to the parent and the kids, not school board. The state should get out of this, all right? But let's continue. Roughly 200 protesters show up outside the state capitol on Wednesday, some with their children in tow, holding signs reading no to explicit sex education and too much too soon. It's just scary that they are going to be teaching it's pornography. Anaheim Hills resident Patricia Reyes told CBS News, if this continue, I'm not sending them to school. Exactly. Take all your kids. The public school system is a very toxic environment for kids, right? They're pushing a narrative, pushing an agenda. Everybody should take all the kids out of public school, right? Because it's not a beneficial environment. All right? Homeschooling is usually the best way to teach a kid. All right? Public education is very toxic. They don't learn anything. They're indoctrinated, brainwashed by the teacher's own agendas as well. All right? I'm not an advocate of public school system at all. All right? Even either private school system, because you because money talks, right? Or homeschool your kids. Public school shouldn't be an option, all right? I don't believe in public school, all right? But let's continue. When it comes to framework inclusive of transgender language, several opponents have raised concern over whether children need that information at an early age. Exactly. These are just kids. They shouldn't be thinking about this kind of stuff. Garrison said the framework offered tools for teachers so they know how to appropriately address every student and ensure each individual feels and value. What the hell is their concern? That should be left up to the parents and the children. Get out of this, all right? But let's continue. It's not about gender identity. It's about acceptance by people who they are. She said a kindergarten is foundationally graduate level to create understanding with all their students and create environment that's bully-free. What is it in their best interest to do this? I don't understand this. It should be left up to the parents and the children. Clearly, they have a narrative. The school system, they're pushing a narrative right here. What is it? Why are they doing this? That's what people need to question more. That's what I advocate people to do. Question. Why are they doing this? Why is this a priority? They wouldn't say to eliminate mental health. Like, that should be left up to the parents. All right? Frank Okoto, he's a occultist, stupid guy. Frank Okoto, director of education of Our Family Coalition, said his organization pushed LBGT inclusive to ensure information regarding sex health apply to all students, especially when it comes to historical marginalization. Why? What is it in his interest to do this? This guy's he's a Satanist, Luciferian. These people are evil, right? What we really want was that family have age-appropriate, medical, accurate information to take their own children to make their own choices for their health. He said that should be left up to the parent, like I always said. Right? Every district have autonomy of their own curriculum and what they use for the recommended guidance. Parents also have the right to opt out of sexual education lesson of children. All right, this is a long article. I'll leave the rest up on my description, the link. I'll leave the link in the description, but this article is from the Los Angeles Times, which they're also fake news, but this I just want to bring this article to you guys, right? Like I said, the school system is a very toxic environment system. They push it in there. It's clearly what you're hearing from this article. They're pushing a narrative, right? This effeminizations. These are little kids. Why should they be thinking about this stuff? Why they should be thinking about this stuff? They shouldn't be thinking about this stuff. They should be little kids, innocent kids, go play around, play with Hot Wheels, Barbies, whatever. But when it comes to sexuality, that's come later in life, and they let them decide it. They try to push a narrative here to the kids, telling the kids what they are, what they aren't. Are. How you gonna tell kids what they are? Shouldn't they make their own judgment? All right. I mean, besides sex is definitive male and female. That's what it is. But when it comes to sexuality, right? I believe that kids are too young for this stuff. They shouldn't be pushing this thing. All right? They should be playing around, develop as children, improve their mind, by interacting normally with each other, not pushing these idea of sex into their head. All right? It's too graphic. California, like I said, California's modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, right? They're going to hell. California. They're doing so much evil, man. California, I can't believe what they're doing. I suggest everybody take their kids out of school. All right? Vote with your dollar. Vote with your wallet. Look. To school system, your kids is a dollar sign, right? When you take your kids out of school, they're not getting paid. All right? So just don't send your kids to any public school system. Either send it to a private tutoring, homeschool your kids, all right, or private school. All right. Once a lot of people get out of these public school systems, then they start to understand that their system's not working. That's how we're supposed to fight these people. All right. By our money, by our children, take them out of the system. All right. I'm not attacking the teachers, right? This is the school board. The school board got their own narrative. They're getting paid for each children that's in the school. So if every school children are exiting the school, that means that they're not getting paid at all, right? The kids is just a dollar sign to these school board members. They don't really care about them, all right? And like I said, California, they clearly have an agenda pushing right here, try to feminize little boys, teaching them inappropriate behavior, inappropriate acts. I don't agree to this. I don't subscribe to this. When it comes to sex education, it should only be between the parent and the kid. That's it. All right? The school have no say in this. They try to overreach. They try to go into your homes now. But my dog's barking. But let me know you agree. I'll leave this article in the description below. And once again, I'm not monetized by Google. Doesn't mean I'm not getting paid. Let me bring my dog over here. She don't want to. But I'm not getting paid. I mean, I'm unscripted, unrehearsed, unedited. And because of that, YouTube are not funding my channel. So because of that, I'm not taking on donation. I'm doing this just to wake people up. And if you like what I'm doing, all right, like, share, subscribe, and follow me on social media. Most importantly, subscribe because it shows me that people are actually watching it and encourage me to make more video. And on that note, guys, this is the Highly Evolved Podcast. My name's Stefan. That's it for this broadcast, and I'll check you guys in the next broadcast. All right, guys, have a good day. Peace. Thanks for listening to my rant.